You're watching a segment of The Splash, Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show.
We're joined by West Bloomfield resident and musician Steve Acho. And Steve, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Brooke.
You're a big celebrity around town.
I don't know about that. I think I'm sitting with a bigger celebrity.
No. So tell me about yourself. It's pretty interesting.
Sure. Well, I actually grew up in Birmingham, so a few miles away, and lived there for half my life until I went to Japan for about 4 years. And then I came back, and I've been in West Bloomfield ever since, so across the street from the studios here.
Okay, so so you're a musician.
I am.
And you've traveled the world with your music, right?
I have, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your music for people who don't know.
Yeah, sure. So I play piano and sing, and I am a complete hack, so I never took lessons. I wouldn't pass a third grade music class. I still don't know how to read any kind of music, so I just kind of learned by ear. And I did that because my parents, when I was a kid in high school, they took me to a Billy Joel concert, and I saw him jumping all over the piano, and I thought it was so cool that I just started playing along to, remember those records we used to have? So I started playing along to that with, 2 fingers and a thumb, and then eventually more fingers, and I don't know, figured it out. And in the beginning, I would just play at coffee houses or for anyone that would listen. And after a while, people started paying me to do it. And then I started
releasing.
It's
Surprise, isn't
so
it?
great when you can just have your hobby and then people pay you money for it,
Right.
So I recorded and released music, and just over time, it's probably been over 15 years that I've been doing that. And I'm just lucky enough to have, I think there are 200 songs or something that I have out with a bunch of albums. Many of them are like acoustic piano and singing versions of covers, so songs that people would know. And maybe about 30% of them are songs that I wrote. And just over the years, I've gotten to be in the right place, I guess, at the right time, and lucky enough to have a bunch of fans. So I'm past 20 million downloads and sales and streams across all of the platforms, the Pandoras and
Right. So
iTunes.
you do cover songs, but you also do original, and then you do custom songs.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that, because that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, sure. So I've gotten hired a lot by people that are putting on private events. So it could be anything from a wedding to a retirement party to a corporate event where there's just hundreds of people and they're having even their year-end party or something like that. And that's been one of the fun things to do is, I'll perform, whether it's during dinner or I'll do some kind of show for people. But then we'll announce this thing where I'm performing this custom song that I wrote for them, but I had already kind of figured out what I was going to do by talking to like the executive team and the CEO. And so it just adds this element of something memorable to the event, because usually, especially corporate events, are a little dry. And they're talking, the sales this quarter and how excited they are about next year. And then out comes, Adam Sandler making fun of their CEO and having everyone clap and sing along. And that's been really cool. The last maybe 3 out of 4 times that I did it, I had the CEO of the company call me over the weekend and say, "That was so great. Can we pay you to go in the studio and record it?" So I did that, and I remember calling one of the companies one time, and I'm hearing my voice on their outgoing voicemail, so they used it there, right? So I guess they liked it.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's fun.
So out of those 3 venues, so to speak, what's your favorite?
It's really hard to say, because I get a really good amount of like creative fulfillment writing a song that some stranger says, "We'd like to, we love your song Legacy. We'd like your permission to play it at our father's funeral," or something. Or there's a song that they're going to be using in some indie film in Europe that they asked and they're paying me for. Versus, people that email me and say, "Man, I love your version of Let It Be. I mean, this is a Beatles song. I obviously didn't write it, but could you please send me the sheet music, for this song?" And then I have to.
I was going to say, can you do that?
Of course not. I have no idea. So I have to reveal to my fans that I'm a hack at that point.
Right.
Yeah. So I really, they're all, different. I love performing in front of people, and I love being able to release music that, millions of people are listening to and deriving some kind of joy out of. So that's a good thing.
So what's so interesting about you is that you're not just a musician. You also have another side to you. You have a tech side.
Right, yeah.
So that's pretty interesting.
I would say it's more business than tech. I am not smart enough to do the stuff that I hire the people to do. So, yeah, we have a technology staffing company, and we have clients all over the country that are as small as like 10-person startups all the way to GM and Apple, which are customers of ours. And, yeah, when they're looking to have, some expert on some kind of big data or analytics thing, I certainly understand and can talk the talk, but I'm not one of the people that is smart enough to do the work. So, I think like most successful businesses, you hire people that are smarter than you, right? So that's what I do.
So left brain, right brain, both in action with you.
Really try and keep them both going, yeah.
Out of the two, what's your favorite?
What side of the brain?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, it's like you get this, do you like to read?
Oh, yeah.
So there's this part of my brain that lights up when I'm right before that moment where I'm like, what kind of loser am I that I'm spending my Friday night alone by the fire reading about, neurolinguistic programming or some weird thing. Like, that's probably not something you should announce, but there's just a part of my brain that lights up when I'm like, it's just an intellectual curiosity that isn't really about creativity. And then there's another side of my brain that lights up when I'm like, I'm going to this event next week, and they are going to love this song that I just made. Like, they are going to laugh and remember this forever, And people do.
Right.
I hear from people, 5 years later that said, I went to your show, and you did this. And I barely remember the thing that they're talking about, but it's like it's so memorable to them.
Right, it impacted them in some
cool,
way.
Yeah. Cool to be
So
able to
you do have
that.
an event coming up.
I do, yeah, a couple. I have a summer tour, kind of. I call it a tour, Southeast Michigan tour. Right. The park in Birmingham, the park in Plymouth, and Wixom, and those will all be on my website on steveacho.com. But the next one I have is on April 12th, and it is for FAR Therapeutic. They are just a great local organization that helps mostly children, but they have all ages, and they are the mentally and physically challenged. And they have a music and arts therapy program. So I always go and perform, sometimes with them, and do funny songs and get people to sing along at those. And I'll also be performing on June 7th at the show right here in town.
The food truck rally.
Food truck event,
The
yes.
food truck rally, yes.
Correct, yeah.
That's
I'll
a
be
very
there, too.
popular event.
It is,
I'm
yeah.
sure you'll be a big hit.
I'm happy to be driving down the street to perform at that. Yeah, it's a lot closer than some of my other shows across the
You can
country.
probably walk there.
I probably can.
Yeah. So if anyone wanted to hear your music or buy a CD, do you still do CDs?
I haven't bought or made a CD in so many years
Okay.
that I'm just digital. I'm not even here right now. I'm at home on my couch.
You're
this is
a
a
hologram.
Don't try and touch me. It's going to go right through. All my music is digital, and it's really easy to find me. I don't even have to tell you a website. You can just search my name, Steve Acho, A-C-H-O, and I can't really commit any crimes because I'm the only one in the world, apparently, with that name.
With that name.
Yeah, hard to hide,
Yes.
easy to find.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in one sentence, tell me what music means to you.
One sentence. Artistic passion. 2 words.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you.
And we have been joined by West Bloomfield resident and musician Steve Acho.
Thanks for watching a segment of The Splash. To catch the entire show or other segments, watch us on Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T Channel 99. Or look us up online at thesplash.tv and listen to us on WBLD 89.3, the all-new Lakes FM.